You're listening to the Love Over Addiction podcast. We are doing a series about covert and passive aggression. And I know, you guys, for those of you that are new to this podcast, it sounds kind of boring and kind of technical. But I promise I'm keeping these super short, super sweet, to the point, and incredibly simple. So I'm gathering examples from this masterful book called In Sheep's Clothing. It's an oldie but goodie, and you can find it on Amazon. And then I'm tweaking them specifically for loving someone suffering from addiction. If you're a reader and you enjoy a good book, I highly recommend it. Now, just to refresh for those of you that are joining, covert aggression is different than passive aggression. Covert aggression is basically wanting to be bad while trying to look good. And the first sign of covert aggression that we covered last week is playing dumb when something is awful or when something awful they did is called to their attention. Today, we're going to cover the second example of covert aggression, and that is never giving a straight answer to a straight question. Oh my gosh. If we were in a room together, I bet you'd be like nodding your head right now going, oh, that is something I can so relate to, right? Now, this can look several different ways. For example, changing the subject if you're talking about something sensitive. They could use distractions or diversion techniques to keep the focus off of their behavior. They try to move us off track to keep themselves free and promote their own self-serving agendas. And here's the thing. Sometimes this can be extremely subtle. You may confront your manipulator on a very important issue only to find yourself minutes later wondering, how did you get off the topic? And why are you talking about this? This is really, really common. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say you may go into the conversation talking about how they were 4 hours late last night, right? And then minutes later, the conversation will be focused on how there's always clutter around the house. They'll change the subject, and they might even try to blame you. My ex-husband was notorious for bringing up the past. He'd always divert the attention to something that I had done. It was extremely hurtful because it would usually be stuff that I had shared with him about my childhood. It was like dirt from years and years ago. And we have to remember that addicts are usually desperate when they are caught or busted. They will do anything they can not to give you a straight answer. Here's some more examples. When was the last time you asked them a question like, how much have you had to drink tonight? And they answered with something like, oh, I've had 6.5 beers. That never happens, right? Or you say something like, have you been using drugs? Are you high? And they answer something like, actually, yes, I've smoked marijuana 2.5 hours ago. That doesn't happen. I mean, that would be really foreign to us, right? Wouldn't you just fall on the floor if they asked a question like that? But here's the deal. That's what we need. That's what a mature and a healthy and a responsible person would answer. They would answer just like that. They would tell the truth. Let's say you came over to my house and we sat down on my couch and I asked you a question. Now, I am known for asking difficult questions, even to strangers. So chances are it would be a question that would be hard for you to answer. But I know you. You and I are sisters. And I would put money on the fact that you would answer directly and clearly. Why? Because you are a mature adult who is excellent at taking accountability. We are honest with each other. We're mature. We're willing to take accountability for our behaviors. The desires of our hearts that we truly have is the desire to change. And when somebody really has the desire to continue to evolve into a better person and a better life, the first step is taking accountability for what is wrong and for how they can personally improve. And you and me, you guys, we're willing to do that. That's why you've joined this community. That's why you've joined the programs. That's why you're listening to me now. Because you are willing to say, okay, I understand that there's some tools and techniques that I need to master. And there are some things I can improve on. You have the maturity level that is required to be in a healthy relationship. When someone doesn't answer you directly and take accountability, it means they don't. And you, my love, deserve to be treated with respect. And respect is when someone doesn't change the subject if you're talking about something sensitive, or use distractions or diversion techniques to keep the focus off of their behavior, or try to move us off track to keep themselves free, or promote their own self-serving agendas. Those things I just mentioned, that's manipulation. And you deserve honesty. You deserve the truth all the time, no matter how difficult it is to share. So, next week, we are going to talk about lying. If you've ever been lied to, this is a must-listen episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't have to remember to look us up. And I want to talk about one other thing before I go. Please do not roll your eyes. You are going to be tempted. Instagram, here's the deal. I have never really been a big fan of social media. I think it's a time suckage. I'd rather be reading a book or talking to my kids. And it usually makes me feel like crap about myself because I look at everybody else's life and think it's better than mine. So I've been really resistant until my team had kind of an intervention with me. And they said, listen, you have got to get out there more. This is part of serving other women. And so I was like, okay, if it's put that way, if it's about serving other people, I can do that. If it's about bragging, I'm not interested. So I repositioned it as serving. And as long as I can do Instagram in my way, which is being real and not putting out there stuff that looks prettier than it is, as long as I can be completely transparent with you, I'm going to do Instagram. And I'm going to have fun with it. So I've been doing this for a couple weeks now. I even did my first story. And you guys, I'm loving it. And you want to know why I'm loving it? Because you leave comments. Because you're DMing me. And I learned what DMing is just a couple weeks ago. And I love hearing from you. Like, it's our way of being real friends. I love it. So if you have not followed me, don't follow my name because I'm only going to do one account and I'm going to just stick to Love Over Addiction. Don't go to Michelle Lisa Anderson. You guys, I want to hear from you. I love hearing your comments. I love seeing that what I'm sharing with you, which is my very real personal life, is making a difference. And I love serving you. So that is my cheesy attempt of saying, get on over there so we can connect. And I love you guys. You know that. I'm here for you. You've got this. I know it's difficult. This is a season of your life that you are going to get through. It's not going to be like this forever. And if you're willing to listen to me, if you're willing to do the work, you're going to come out such a happier, healthier woman. This is a good thing. It's going to be okay. I promise. I love you guys.
Before we sign off this week, I have 3 super quick things to share. First is a free guide sheet, and this month we're featuring a free guide sheet all about how to communicate with your partner. You can go to loveoveraddiction.com/communicate to get yours. And if you haven't already, please rate and review us on iTunes. Go to loveoveraddiction.com/review for step-by-step instructions, or directly to iTunes if you're familiar with the process of leaving a review. And if you want to take a screenshot of your review and email it to us at info@loveoveraddiction.com, we'd love to see it and we'll give you something special. And number 3, we've got a summer bundle sale going on now for this week. And they're products that we usually don't have on the shelf, like the Love Over Addiction workbook and the CD sets. So you can find all the details at loveoveraddiction.com/summer bundle. That's all one word, summer bundle. All right, that's all. We'll talk to you next week. This podcast is created for your support, encouragement, and entertainment with Michelle's personal thoughts and beliefs. From one woman to another, all bonded together by the fact we love someone suffering from addiction. This is not intended as a substitute for therapy or advice from a professional.